Whoever believed that Jake Paul was going to win, that was an absolute fairy tale.
Jake Paul versus Anthony Joshua is over. Thank God it's over. What a joke of a fight.
From the minute he got into that ring, to get on the back foot and just start running around, was quite pathetic, to be honest with you.
There was never a world in which Jake Paul was going to beat Anthony Joshua.
Jake Paul has just been mercilessly roasted by boxing experts following his comical yet utterly humiliating defeat at the hands of Anthony Joshua. The so-called pretty boy experiment came crashing to a brutal end, complete with shattered jaws, cracked ribs, and the sort of devastating damage that happens when over-the-top confidence collides head-on with the unforgiving laws of heavyweight physics.
If Anthony Joshua puts 10-ounce gloves on and gets in a boxing ring and Jake Paul is in the other corner, this won't last long. This will last as long as Josh wants it to last.
Let's not act surprised. This outcome was as predictable as sunrise for anyone with even a shred of boxing knowledge and a working set of eyes. For the past few years, we've watched Jake Paul breeze through the sport like a wide-eyed tourist snapping selfies and collecting easy wins as souvenirs, until reality finally caught up in the most spectacular way possible.
You can't lose to a guy that's perceived to be a YouTuber, even though today,
retired mixed martial artists, former champions past their expiration date.
He's taken down retired mixed martial artists and former champions long past their prime, guys whose glory days were gathering dust. He's even knocked out athletes whose only real connection to punching was dribbling a basketball. That was the blueprint: massive hype, endless viral clips, carefully chosen opponents who posed little threat, and non-stop bold claims about revolutionizing the entire sport.
Jake Paul is concerned, because that's not boxing. He was just trying to survive. And when you try to survive in a fight, then the other guy can't knock you out because you're not looking to win.
Then came 2025, and out of nowhere, Jake Paul found himself staring across the ring at Anthony Joshua, a battle-tested former unified heavyweight champion, Olympic gold medalist, and a warrior carrying genuine scars from the most brutal battles the sport has ever seen.
dude's got balls. Dude's got balls to stand in there with AJ, who had been off, so his chin is refreshed. He's ready to fight.
The contrast was stark and undeniable. Right from the opening bell, Joshua masterfully controlled the distance like a veteran who'd danced in these shadows for over a decade, setting cunning traps, commanding the tempo, and forcing Paul to expend precious energy lunging at phantoms that vanished before his eyes. The sheer size disparity painted one picture, but the yawning chasm in ring experience told a fuller, merciless story. Paul had spent the entire week hyping explosive knockouts and grand declarations. Joshua simply clocked in, ready to put in the work and deliver a masterclass in heavyweight dominance.
Get paid $90 million to just survive? He just survived. He just ran around the ring.
Joshua strode into the ring backed by over 28 professional victories, multiple reigns as unified heavyweight champion, and a legendary resume crowned by Olympic gold from London 2012. In stark contrast, Jake Paul entered with just 13 pro bouts under his belt, none against active elite heavyweights or former champions, and none that truly tested the ironclad defensive skills required at the pinnacle of the division.
Anthony Joshua is trying to find him. As the fight goes longer, all those big actions, the shots, the big overhand rights, all those things are starting to fatigue Paul.
The early rounds carried that eerie quiet reserved for truly dangerous storms brewing on the horizon. Joshua remained the picture of composure, patient and precise, never hurried, never overcommitting, as he methodically tightened the noose, shrinking the ring inch by inch around his elusive opponent. Paul projected bravado with every gesture, but his footwork betrayed the truth. Constant retreats, hesitant resets, reacting rather than dictating. This is the unforgiving realm where heavyweight reality crashes in without mercy. And when the knockout finally landed, it surprised no one who had approached the matchup with clear-eyed honesty.
You know, you're gonna get knocked out anyway, dude. Like, I was hoping I could say, you know what, because he earned the respect of boxing fans by going out on his shield. The guy just ran for his life. I just watched Jake Paul run for his life for like 5-6 rounds.
One of the first voices the boxing world turned to for insight was legendary trainer Teddy Atlas, whose post-fight breakdown was as unflinchingly brutal as his pre-fight warnings had been. He hammered home the timeless truth he preached all along. Heavyweight fundamentals are merciless. They offer no forgiveness, no second chances. In the lighter divisions, a fighter might slip up and live to fight another round. But at this level, one mistake invites catastrophe.
I mean, this guy literally never tried to win a second of the fight. He was trying to throw a home run punch every once in a while. And notice every time he got in the clinch, he just went down. Like he just hugged Anthony Joshua, and then like would go down, and the referee would call it a slip and give him a break, and like he would just kill time that way.
At heavyweight, errors aren't forgiven. They are punished with immediate, devastating finality. Atlas drove the point home relentlessly. When a fighter lacks those razor-sharp elite defensive instincts, the division turns into the true adversary. You're no longer just battling another man. You're warring against raw physics, crushing mass, unforgiving leverage, pinpoint timing, and the brutal consequences that follow. Jake Paul had never stepped foot in that unforgiving world until this fateful night.
I try to be responsible. I've been in this game 50 years, so I know where not to step. Where you could twist an ankle, or worse, you could break a...
Even while I think a heavyweight has a chance in any fight, a puncher's chance, I don't think Jake Paul has anything for Anthony
Do you
Joshua.
respect him for taking it?
Yeah, you have to, because that's terrifying. Like that.
Then came Carl Froch, who skipped the pleasantries entirely and cut straight to the bone. He wasted no time reminding the world that Paul had already tasted defeat against Tommy Fury, a cruiserweight who'd never even sniffed a British title. That single setback had screamed volumes to the experts, laying bare exactly where Paul's true ceiling hovered. If he could barely scrape by in that mismatch, leaping headfirst into the ring with a bona fide heavyweight kingpin wasn't bold ambition. It was pure, unadulterated denial. Froch drove the nail home. Boxing's ladder of progression isn't some arbitrary rule. It's a survival mechanism in a savage sport that devours anyone foolish enough to chase shortcuts.
The way you beat a guy like that, you're not going to outbox him. If you're waiting on him and he's initiating and he's feinting you into counters and then he's countering the counter.
He knocked him down twice. I thought the fight was going to be over because he was going to knock him down again.
Experts wasted no time dismantling the tired old puncher's chance excuse that fans love to trot out. In the heavyweight division, that notion only holds water when both warriors boast elite-level defensive mastery. But when one fighter's guard is full of holes, what starts as a supposed opportunity flips into a deadly gamble, a puncher's risk that invites swift and savage retribution.
Honestly, what do you want the guy to do? I mean, this guy ran for his life in a 22 by 22 foot ring. That ring was huge. That ring was huge.
The raw numbers only amplified the brutal reality of the mismatch. Analysts hammered home the glaring facts. Joshua tipped the scales with nearly a 27-pound advantage on fight night, paired with a reach edge of exactly 6 inches. These aren't mere stats, they are the blueprints of dominance. Absolute control over distance, ruthless command of every exchange, and the chilling authority to dictate precisely when the storm of violence unleashes.
It looked like that was the moment he was going to throw in the towel and say, you know what, I'm done, I'm injured, I'm hurt, I don't want to do that. But hats off to him, he got up and he kept fighting. We get to the 6th round and you can just tell that it's over.
The betting markets had already called the shot long before the opening bell even rang. Joshua stepped in as an overwhelming favorite, with odds stacking up to imply better than an 85% shot at victory. This wasn't shade or disrespect, it was cold, hard mathematics at work. The sharp money saw straight through the smokescreen of hype, recognizing the undeniable truths. Experience, sheer size, elite skill, and a proven track record all carry real weight. Boisterous confidence, no matter how loud, can't rewrite the probabilities.
In my life, I think my jaw is broken, by the way, so... Yeah. Let's go! It's definitely broke. But,
In the wake of the devastating knockout, the spotlight swiftly turned to the punch that ended it all. Instant comparisons poured in, drawing parallels to Joshua's thunderous 2024 demolition of Francis Ngannou, a brutal finish that wrapped up in under 3 rounds. Ngannou, the fearsome predator who'd never tasted a knockout defeat in his storied career, was dispatched cleanly and with ruthless efficiency by Joshua's precision power. Analysts marveled once more at the blistering velocity behind Joshua's signature right hand, clocking in near 40 miles per hour, an astonishing blend of elite speed and earth-shattering mass in the heavyweight realm. When that missile connects flush, entire careers grind to a sudden, unforgiving halt.
But Joshua just ate that. And I think when Anthony saw he could take those punches and they could really do no damage to him, it even boosted his confidence more. Because then he got even more reckless in his approach to getting after Paul.
What truly deepened Paul's downfall was the glaring technical collapse under the spotlight. He couldn't adapt to Joshua's early feints, stumbling blindly into vicious counters instead of dragging the fight into chaotic, messy clinches that might have bought him time. His reactions lagged dangerously behind, and he retreated in straight, predictable lines. leaving himself wide open for exploitation. Commentators were unanimous. If that same devastating right hand that crumpled the unbreakable Ngannou connected cleanly on Paul, there wasn't a single alternate reality where this bout ended any other way. This wasn't bravado or trash talk, it was pure, unforgiving anatomy at play. Then Johnny Nelson sliced through the post-fight chatter with a razor-sharp observation that landed like a truth bomb and lingered for its pinpoint accuracy. Anthony Joshua doesn't play touch-butt in the ring at any level. Again, no hype, just cold technical insight. Joshua isn't the type to dance or toy with foes. When he unleashes, it's with full, unrelenting commitment. Nelson underscored a core truth about Joshua's approach. It's always rooted in ironclad control, swiftly followed by calculated destruction, no matter who stands across from him. There's no room for exhibition flair or half measures in his arsenal. Step into that ring with Joshua in 10-ounce gloves, and you're willingly enrolling in a masterclass of real consequences.
You knew that Anthony Joshua was going to eventually land something that hurt Jake Paul. And you know how you know the boxing world wanted it to be brutal? Because Rosendo was sitting here and he goes, I hope he gets knocked out bad.
The business angle offered no cushion against the onslaught of criticism. Simon Jordan delivered some of the most scathing takes, framing the entire matchup as outright absurd, no matter the lucrative payday on the table. He made it crystal clear. Stacks of cash don't excuse turning a blind eye to the harsh truths of competitive reality. While he tipped his hat to the undeniable commercial triumph Paul has engineered, Jordan sharply divorced that financial wizardry from any shred of genuine sporting legitimacy, zeroing in on the glaring absence of true merit in the challenge itself.
Anthony Joshua, who's now 5 inches bigger than you, maybe more, or 4 or 5 inches, and about 100 pounds heavier. You just don't go from there right up to there.
A two-time heavyweight champion boasting Olympic gold isn't some disposable marketing gimmick or sideshow prop. Treating a warrior of that caliber as anything less is a reckless shortcut that inevitably leads to someone getting seriously hurt. Jordan's unflinching perspective carried extra weight precisely because it stemmed from a voice deeply embedded in the worlds of sports media and promotion. He gets the game inside out. He wasn't clutching pearls over the entertainment spectacle itself. What truly grated him was the glaring, indefensible mismatch at the heart of it all.
Punching heavyweight, and fake Paul's never been in with a heavyweight. Like I said earlier, he lost to Tommy Fury, a cruiserweight. He lost to him. Tommy Fury's not even British level. So you can't chuck fake Paul in with Anthony Joshua and take it serious.
What amplified the backlash even further was the stunning shift from unlikely corners. Even those who had once championed crossover boxing as a fresh gateway to the sport began to distance themselves. Fighters and pundits who'd previously defended influencer-led spectacles as harmless entry points now conceded, often in hushed tones, that this brutal clash had laid bare not just a fleeting hurdle, but a fundamental, immovable ceiling, one etched deep into the sport's unforgiving structure. The pivot was subtle yet sweeping across the community. Sure, you can peddle curiosity and cash in on novelty's shine, but you can't bypass boxing's rigorous foundation, its years of forged infrastructure, and demand that the iron laws of heavyweight warfare bend to your will.
Because he got hit clean by one of the biggest punchers, acclaimed, a lot of accolades, world champion heavyweight, and he went down and didn't get up. And honestly,
the numbers laid it all bare, vindicating every sharp word from the critics. Anthony Joshua stormed into the professional ranks fortified by a grueling amateur foundation, racking up over 150 bouts in the unpaid trenches where razor-sharp timing, ironclad defense, and raw survival instincts are forged in fire. That staggering volume isn't just a stat, it's the bedrock of elite ring IQ. Jake Paul, by brutal contrast, dove straight into pro boxing with zero amateur pedigree, not a brief stint, not even a single sparring session under those rules. Nothing. That cavernous void isn't bridged by swagger, viral hype, or a few intense training camps. It demands years of relentless seasoning to close. Joshua had piled them high. Paul simply didn't.
it was exactly what it needed to be tonight for this fight and for this fight. It was fun. It was crazy at times with the wrestling and all the grabbing and the clenching, the referee saying the fans didn't pay for this shit, all the dirty tactics.
Joshua's storied professional ledger boasts multiple world title defenses spanning separate reigns, with battles that have pushed him deep into 12-round wars at a blistering elite tempo against the absolute cream of the heavyweight crop. Paul, in stark relief, had never ventured beyond 8 rounds under that kind of relentless pressure heading into this showdown. This chasm isn't some abstract theory, It's a brutal reality. Surviving 8 rounds versus grinding through 12 at heavyweight? They are practically different beasts altogether. The physical grind and mental erosion skyrocket past the midway mark, hitting like a freight train. Fighters who haven't endured that furnace before almost always betray it fast, crumbling under the weight they never trained their souls to carry.
A guy that doesn't have the longest career, he's the only one outside of Conor McGregor that could fight this level of fight at his experience and draw in the type.
Financially, the showdown only cemented what industry insiders had long whispered in the shadows. Reports flooded in post-fight with jaw-dropping purse estimates hovering between $40 and $50 million for each man, staggering sums that screamed one undeniable truth. This was a commercial behemoth engineered purely to captivate eyeballs and flood bank accounts with rivers of revenue. No one dares argue against its blockbuster appeal. Yet those very figures shone a merciless light on a deeper reality. Explosive commercial triumph doesn't magically conjure competitive equilibrium. The avalanche of cash didn't tighten the gulf in skill or danger one bit. It simply amplified the stakes, making the inevitable consequences all the more thunderous and profound.